Good evening, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of A Word with Pastor Webb. I'm your host, Pastor Webb, and we have a very special guest this evening, Dr. Christian H. Stewart. Please help me to salute and celebrate my friend and sister. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
How was the drive?
Oh, it was good. It wasn't bad at all.
No
the
problem?
rain stopped, so we can ride on in.
Perfect. Not going to hold you long. What's your story? Tell me how you grew up.
I'm a country girl from Georgia. I grew up Riverdale, Jonesboro.
Okay.
My mom and dad are from South Carolina. We grew up in the church.
Okay.
I'm a middle child. I have two siblings, two sisters. We grew up around sports. We grew up around the church. Just a regular old family.
Oh, country girl.
Country girl.
Well, who named you Kristen? Who?
My mom.
Your mom?
My mom.
Did she say why she named you Kristen?
She did not. She said, I think because my dad, I'm the middle, my dad wanted a boy. You know? So they was tried with my sister, my older sister, didn't happen. They was thinking it might be me, so I think that's why I got the name Christian. And it didn't happen. And then he tried one more time. After the third time, my dad said he just gave it up.
I hear now. So give me 3 words that best describe who you are and why.
Yeah. I would say I'm very competitive.
Okay.
You'll know why my background as very competitive. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I can be sensitive at times. You may not see it.
Be sensitive.
I can be.
Okay. Okay.
It may not show, but I am.
Be sensitive. Okay.
And then I'm a hard worker. You know, I go for whatever it is I want, and I pray, and I hope I get it, and most of the time I do.
Okay. So I guess you get into it with your husband. You're competitive. And
We are. We're very competitive in our house. Our kids even are competitive now. It's in our blood. We can't help it.
Okay. Now, what are some of your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
I like water. So anything, pool, I like to go to the beach, we like to go jet skiing on the boats.
But you grew up in Georgia.
I did, but I always loved the water. I love to swim. I love to be around water. It calms me, it relaxes me. And then a lot of times we host game nights. We just like to hang out with family and friends at our house. So, people come over with the kids and we just have games. We play cards, we play taboo, we play whatever it is. We have a good time just hanging out with friends. So.
All right. So let's talk about your career. Now, you are an audiologist. What do your job do as an audiologist?
So an audiologist, it kind of started off in undergrad. You can be audiologist or speech pathology. They kind of go together in undergrad. So then when you go to grad school, that's when it breaks off if you want to be an ear doctor, an audiologist, or you want to just continue in speech. Speech is an extra 2 years, so you get a master, and then audiology is a doctorate. You go another 4 years. It's a clinical doctorate.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I knew I had to do that.
I know.
Now, why did you choose this profession?
I kind of fell into it, to be honest. So I started my major as special education.
Okay.
And so when I went to Florida State University in undergrad, that's where I started special education. We had to do field studies. So you had to go out into the field and you observe. So I went to Tallahassee Deaf and Blind School.
Wow.
You had to get 30 hours for the semester.
Okay.
I went the first day. I was there for 30 minutes. The other kids were there, and the kids there, it was Tallahassee Deaf and Blind. They had other disabilities as well besides just hearing and not seeing. And I was there for 30 minutes, and I felt like I was there for hours. And as soon as I left there, I went straight to my advisor and changed my major because I knew it wasn't for me.
Not for you.
I just knew it. I mean, it was bad. I mean, I think you have to have a calling to be in special education. It takes a lot out of you to do something like that. And I just knew immediately that's not what I want to do. So I went to my advisor. I said, listen, I got to change my major. I don't think I can do this. So I wanted to stay, in the field. And so she said, well, what about communication science disorder is what the undergrad is called.
Okay.
And I said, okay. I got into it. So then she sent out for another field study. That's when I met my mentor. She's Dr. Snowden. So we had a hearing clinic on Florida State campus.
Okay.
And so I went there and had to do observation as well. And when I met her and I saw it, I knew exactly that's what I wanted to do, and I kind of got into it from there.
Wow. Now, what is the #1 cause of hearing loss or disorder?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the Number one thing is just age. I mean, just like anything else, your body, it wears down over time. Right. You know, it's almost like raindrops in a bucket. Every time sound's going in your ears are wearing down. Wow. So age is really the number one cause.
Age, okay.
And then after that is probably noise induced. So loud noises, you know, kids walking around with these headphones in high sound.
So Dre beat, those.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to listen to, but when you do it at extended time and at a high volume, it damages your hearing.
Wow.
So I don't think I'll ever be without a job, you know, nowadays.
For real. Everybody got to, yeah.
You know, so, but those are really the number two causes, noise induced and age.
Okay, noise induced, okay. Now, what advice would you give to a young lady who wants to go into this profession?
Go for it.
Go for it.
I mean, you know, this profession is kind of female dominant. I mean, males are starting to get in it now.
Oh, so more female.
Yeah, mostly females. I can tell you, going in undergrad and even in grad school, I was probably the only black person.
Well, that's my next question. So were you on there? Yeah.
Yep,
oh, wow.
Yep. And you know, it's kind of hard nowadays because me being young and looking young, I look younger than I guess I actually am.
Right.
When I show up and I call patients to come in, they don't realize that I'm the doctor.
Are you the assistant? Oh, yeah.
And so when I tell them, they say, "Oh, you the doctor?" I say, "Yes, I am."
Well, how do that make you feel when they cannot question you, but just be surprised? How do that make you
feel?
Well,
I understand a little bit. You know, I'm not the one to walk around, "You need to call me doctor. You need to call me doctor." You know.
Right.
And sometimes I wear my white coat in clinic, and sometimes I don't. It just whatever floats my boat. But like I say, I understand it. I don't get offended by it. You know, I just inform them, and a lot of times people are impressed and they congratulate me.
Right. So your patients love you?
Yeah. You know, it's a few in here now and then, but I'm sure it has nothing to do with me, more them. You know, when you're dealing with people older age, and a lot of times my patients are older, they're stuck in their ways, you know. I like to laugh and have fun, so, you know, once they see my personality, they ease up.
Okay. Now, what are some of the misconceptions about this profession?
Like I was saying, the doctor, they don't know that I'm the actual doctor. They think I may be assistant. And a lot of times, like I said, I work in ear, nose, and throat. So they maybe think I'm just, you know, checking them out to go see the ear, nose, and throat doctor.
So have you ever got offended?
No. I don't. I mean, most of the time when you tell people, they respect it, and then they start calling you doctor most of the time when you tell them. Right. But, I mean, I don't get offended by it.
Right. Okay. What are some of the challenges that go along with this profession?
I think we live in a world where everybody wants instant gratification.
Okay.
So I think even most of the time when I have to break news to it, whether it's a family who has a child that has hearing loss or it's an adult who may not think they have hearing loss, but I'm showing them on paper they do. A lot of times when we do go to fix it, whether it's a hearing aid or a cochlear implant or something else, people think it's going to be an instant gratification. They think, oh, I should be able to hear everything, but that's not always the case. You know, over time, hearing loss is nerve damage. People don't understand that. So over time, like I say, even though I can turn things up for you, your nerves still may not make it clear. It may be loud, but if the nerve's not processing it the way it should be or normally what it should, it doesn't come through. So sometimes I do have to explain that to people. And like I said, if it's a kid, you have to be kind of patient with these parents. It takes a lot for them to grasp the fact that their child has a hearing loss and a disability, that they have to now navigate their life a little different, that their child has a hearing loss. So, I mean, you have to be sensitive. Sometimes, you know, it takes some convincing on both sides.
So which is harder, older folks or the kids?
I would probably say the kids are. Okay. It's a challenge to get them tested. It's a challenge to you know, diagnose it sometimes because, you know, nowadays it's like you raise your hand when you hear a beep. Kids are not gonna always do that. If I have a 6-month-old, she's not gonna raise her hand. You know, so we gotta be creative. We have a 3-year-old. I'm gonna have to bring out some toys. Drop the toy in the bucket when you hear a beep.
I like that. Wow.
So you gotta get creative with the kids. I kind of got away from the kids just because, I don't know, I do better with adults.
Right.
But it is a challenge. I think the kids are more of a challenge because you have to deal with not only the kids, but you have to deal with the patients or the parents as well.
Okay. Now, what is a cochlear implant?
Cochlear implant, yeah. So basically, hearing aids, cochlear implant are implantable device. So you have to have surgery. So it's a device that's implanted.
It stays in you. Oh.
So there's an internal piece and an external piece. So you have to go undergo surgery. It's mainly for people who have really profound, almost near death So it's electrical stimulation, not from like putting on some headphones or a hearing aid. So when they go in and they insert the internal piece through surgery, you wait a couple months to heal, you'll come see the audiologist like me, and then we'll program the external piece that will attach through it.
So how long that piece stays inside?
For the rest of their life.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I do now more. I'm not really in the clinic now.
Okay.
I'm more on the manufacturer side. I work for a company, Oticon, that's out of New Jersey.
Okay.
And we work for implantables. So we do have cochlear implants and bone anchor devices. So everything I do now is kind of working with surgeons, training them on the surgery, helping them figure it out. I may go in clinic and help the audiologist out if they're first time or they need some help, a difficult patient, but that's kind of what I'm in now, more of the implantables now.
So you top chef now. You
I know about that. But
well, okay. What is an electrical physiological evaluation?
So patients who are dizzy, you come in, hey, I'm dizzy, the room's spinning, I'm off balance. A lot of people don't understand that your balance is in your ears. When you're off balance and when you're dizzy.
So what caused that?
So, without being too technical.
Okay.
So it's an imbalance in your ear. So you have a part of your ears is for hearing, the hearing organ, and then there's a balance system attached to that hearing organ. Okay. And the part that's the balance portion gets off function. And you get, equilibrium goes off. People have vertigo. Is the main thing.
So what is vertigo?
People getting dizzy.
Dizzy all the time.
Yep, room spinning. It could be out of nowhere. It could be where they stand up really fast and they get dizzy.
Right.
It's just dizziness and off balance. So that's what electrophysiology is. So we run tests to try to figure out which part of the organ is dysfunctioning.
So that's how you fix it.
There's different types of dizziness and different types of vertigo.
Right.
So if it's, positioning, you only get dizzy when you move somewhere really fast or you turn your head a certain way or if you bend over a certain way, we can fix that. By doing some maneuvers to help do it. If it's vertigo that's more internal or more central system, only thing we can really do is give you something to help cope with it. So the ear, nose, and throat doctor will probably prescribe medication to kind of help deal with it and cope with it.
So motion sickness is similar to?
Almost, yes.
Okay.
It's a little complicated, but yeah.
I'm 50. Well, I'll be 55 in May.
Yeah.
When I get up to fair, I got to count to 10.
And that's okay though, because that sometimes is due to like blood pressure. Sometimes just raising up and down, that sometimes can be common.
So
but a lot of people,
I'm safe.
You sound like it. We might have to give you electrophysiology evaluation, and we'll let you know. But it sounds like it.
All right, now let's get to the fun part.
Okay.
I heard you played college basketball for Florida State University. How many years did you play, and how was that experience?
Yeah, I played for 4 years. I was on an athletic scholarship, full scholarship.
Okay.
Played for 4 years. I loved it. It was the best thing ever. I mean, I feel like if everybody has a chance to go to a university and play.
But this is D1. So
yeah.
I mean,
D1 or any. I just feel like being a college athlete, you have a totally different experience.
Right.
I was, blessed enough to be able to go D1, and a lot of my experiences, a lot of my characteristics that I have now in my profession as an individual, as a mom, as a wife, I get it all from sports from college, the discipline. It was great. I mean, we went on some lovely trips. Actually, my favorite vacation happened while I was in Vegas. We went to South Africa.
Whoa.
Yeah, for 2 weeks,
Yeah. The motherland.
Yeah, we went over there for 2 weeks. We have to, make it basketball related, so we put on a basketball clinic over there. We went to the schools there, and I actually want to take my kids back because that's how life-changing that trip was. We got over there, the kids didn't even have shoes. We did a basketball clinic. Some of them did it barefooted. It was amazing. We went to a soccer game over there. We also was a part of a thing called Samaritan's Feet. So we would give out shoes to less fortunate. We did it around Tallahassee a little bit, and we took it over to South Africa. We washed the kids' feet, put the brand new tennis shoes on. And it's just a humbling and life-changing experience. Like I said, I wouldn't take back any of it. I loved it, every bit of it.
What are some of the principles you carried over from basketball into your career now?
Like I was telling you, a lot of the characteristics that I know, especially discipline. That's the number one thing. Being on time to work, being on time to anything, Another thing would be just hard work. I mean, defensive player year didn't come from me just, going out there and just lollygagging when I wanted to, even when I don't feel like it. Hard work, like I said, in my profession. Teamwork is another thing. I mean, you have to be able to work with people. You have to be able to lead people. So those with discipline, hard work, and teamwork would be everything that I use in my personal life and also in my professional life.
So why do you speak about your teamwork? Why do you think kids, athletes now, everybody want to do their own thing out, crossing over, versus playing team?
Social media is running our world
social
now.
Media,
you know, and everybody wants to have the spotlight. Everybody sees Kevin Durant. Everybody sees LeBron. Everybody wants to be a Kyrie Irving. Everybody wants to be that. So social media is what's really leading our world today. And I think that's what kind of get people in that perception. But they'll learn.
Now, what gets you to do the hard work when you don't want to do it?
I mean, you have to see the bigger picture. I mean, what's in front of you, whether it's an obstacle, whatever it is, you have to know your goal. I mean, that's in life in general. If you're not working towards nothing, you're not moving anywhere.
Amen.
So I think you have to know your vision, know your goal, and see the bigger picture, and that's going to keep you motivated to do the work.
Okay. What position did you play?
I play mostly guard, 2-3, and then point guard a little bit when our point guard needs a breather, but mostly 2 or 3 shooting guard.
So can you shoot it?
Yeah.
Can you still shoot it?
Yeah, I can shoot.
Okay, now you was a shooter,
Yeah.
play point guard, but I heard that you was ACC Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, so this is the thing, and this is one of the hardest things I had to learn when I went over from high school basketball over to college basketball. You have to understand at the same time you're playing basketball, but it's a business. So at the same time, if your team needs you to play defense, even though you may be a shooter or may be a scorer or you used to be an offensive player, you may not be that in college.
Wow.
And that's okay. It's a hard pill to swallow. I had to, pray through it as
Humble
well.
yourself.
Yeah, I had to get through it. But yeah, defensive player, they needed me to play defense, and that's what I did.
And did it well.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I got to ask you this question now. Your husband played for Florida State.
Uh-huh.
You met him at Florida State?
I did.
And was it love at first sight? Be honest now, be honest. Did he holler at you or you holler at him?
It was not love at first sight.
Okay.
It was not. Let me tell you how we met. I was a freshman. I was down in our dorms in the basement in a laundromat, me and 2 of my other teammates. We had just got out of practice. We were tired. We were trying to probably get some homework done, sitting on top of a washing machine, waiting for our clothes to get dry. And he comes in with 2 of his other roommates. What he doing in the freshman dorm, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But we didn't even say 2 words to each other when we first met. He kind of just stayed in the back. He had 2 outgoing roommates, and they were the one doing most of the talking.
Okay.
And so he might have said, hey, and introduced himself, but that was all we ever said to each other the first time we saw each other.
Okay. So tell me how y'all met then.
So after we left, I would see, athletes, we eating in the cafeteria together. We all go to study hall in the same buildings. They have us pretty on a set schedule, so we all in the same area. So, he was friends with some of my older teammates, so he asked one of them for my number, if it was okay for him to have my number. And so
Okay.
So that's how he got it, and then ever since we've been together ever since.
So you didn't try to talk to him. Okay. So I need to do some research on that. Okay. What are some of the early mistakes you made in life you had to overcome?
Early mistakes. I think going with my, background of being in sports and in Florida State and having that whole experience, in the moment I might not have taken full advantage of it. Sometimes you can take things for granted. And, looking back at it, I can say that now. But going through it, I'm complaining, I'm whatever's going on. It's during the time I'm trying to figure out myself as well, young adult, young woman. So I think, if looking back at it, I don't have many regrets, but looking back at it, I probably would have changed a few things as far as my attitude and being grateful about my whole experience as being an athlete.
So are you firm? You're not a pushover?
No, not at all.
If you got to get with him, you get with him.
Yes.
Well, what has been your biggest loss or biggest fear?
My biggest loss or my biggest fear? I would say my biggest fear would probably be failing my kids. When you become a mom, it just changes your whole life, your whole world. You look at everything totally different. I try to give my kids the best like I had growing up without spoiling them too much. You know how that goes. But I just want to be as good of as parents as my mom and dad were to me, to my kids.
So do you see yourself in your kids?
Oh, I see a little bit more of their dad than me.
Okay. That's
but I see stuff here and now. My little one, she's 1, almost 2. She definitely has a personality that's maybe a little bit similar to me. But she does have some dad in her as well.
And then your boy.
And then my boy, he's 5, almost 6. He's all dad. For sure.
He's a daddy boy?
He's all dad.
Okay. What are you most proud of?
Being a mom.
Your mom.
Yeah, I mean,
being a doctor,
yeah,
over being an athlete.
Out of all things in the world, and that may be, it just changes your world.
Yeah.
I mean, I think being a mom will be my most proudest moment for sure.
So mom is higher than the wife? I'm putting you on the spot.
No,
you on the camera?
It's not. I'm proud to be that as well.
All right. Now, if you had one wish, what would that be?
Oh, that's a hard one. One wish. Like I said, when I took things for granted, I wish I can kind of go back and redo some things in my college days.
Do over.
Yeah. Okay. I don't say all of it, but just I wish I could redo it again and take it all in.
Okay.
Take it all in.
Okay. Now your husband Stu, he's a coach.
Yeah.
What's the pros and cons of being married to a coach?
Well, he does a pretty good job of keeping it separate. You know, he tries not to bring it home. Yeah. Although, after a tough loss, after a bad practice, sometimes it comes home.
I know. Dealing with kids.
You know how that goes. But he does a really good job of keeping it separate. I think the biggest part is just us first going on when he first got, the head coaching job. I think it was us trying to manage, family time and the kids. And this year will be an interesting year just because I have a different job and I travel with my job now. Wow. So when football season comes in play this year, it'll be us going back to the drawing board and figuring it out again. But
so he might have to be mom and dad.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
The table would turn.
Right, and we have a really good support system. His mom, his cousins, aunts, they help us out too. So that makes a big difference.
Okay. Now, if you could trade places with one person, who would that be, and why?
That's a good question. I think I would Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
I just would like to see the people she met, what it's like to be, what goes on, like behind the scenes. We see what I would like to see what really goes on and being in her shoes for a day. And not necessarily the power of being a first lady or whatever the case may be, but just to see a different world, a different side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how has God played a role in your success?
Oh, he's responsible for everything. That's all my success. If it wasn't, like I said, when it got hard in those college days and even in high school days, my mom and dad, praying mom and dad.
Right. Yes.
I definitely did the same. When it got hard, when things got tough, I knew where to look and I knew where to go to get through.
Wow. Okay. As we bring this to a close, any closing remarks you'd like to leave with my listening audience?
I would just tell people to stay true to yourself, shoot for the stars, and don't settle for anything less.
Okay.
That's my motto. I try to live by it, and that's what I believe in with.
Amen. Final question. What is the best talk show in the land?
Hey, whoever Pastor Webb.
God bless you, sister. And to my listening audience, may God bless you real good.